Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, E-Coffee with Experts. This is Ranmay here, your host for today's episode. And today we have Brett, who is the founder and CEO of Experience Fresh with us. Welcome, Brett.
Thanks, Ranmay. Thanks for having me.
Great. Brett, before we move any forward, our audience would like to hear more about your journey thus far and what Experience Fresh is all about and how is your own agency different from all the ones out there. And once you have spoken about your journey, we'll take it forward from there on.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and it's good to be with you and with your viewers as well. I'm actually here in St. Louis, Missouri at our HQ, and I established Experience Fresh back in 2011. I had been part of a few different startups focused in direct to consumer and CPG. And I fell in love with advertising. I fell in love with this idea of being able to create authentic connection and trust between a brand and a consumer. My journey in advertising was a little bit different. In my mid-20s, I went and really wanted to be part of an agency. I actually interviewed and sent out my resume to a dozen different agencies. And I kept hearing the same response, which was, if you want to work in advertising, you need to have agency experience. That actually led me to start Experience Fresh and to really think about ways that we could support our clients different. Experience Fresh was a consultancy. I was able to consult with global brands down to early stage startups throughout from 2011 until 2019. Built some in-house agency teams across different organizations. And then moving from a consultancy to creative agency in 2019. So 2019 brought on a long time co-creator friend as a partner and relaunched in 2019. And we were really going to focus on two core competencies. We were going to focus on brand strategy and production. And that went great. In 2019 to 2020, we started to really grow. We grew our team, brought design in-house. And in 2020, we went from a team of 2 to 5. And then towards the back half of 2020, our clients were taking the content that we were creating across production and design, and they were really working with their media placement agencies, working with different media buy agencies. And they said, hey, we really would love if this was more of a cohesive process. Is this something that you guys do? And at the time we didn't, but we said, hey, if we want to compete and we want to offer the best available resources for our clients, we should bring this in-house. We took a big risk. We doubled down. We brought a digital team in-house in the early part of 2021, and really started to see a really amazing snowball effect across our clients. And what we really would attest that to is doing great work, having great communication, and really under-promising and over-delivering, and really matching not just the creative, but also the digital KPIs to our clients' larger objectives. So that was in 2021. I think we had a team of 6 or 7, and we've gone through a few acquisitions as an agency of working with and partnering with boutique firms. We looked for really good talent. And as we were looking for a talent search, like everyone else was in 2020, right? We were looking for talent. We said, hey, let's not just look at bringing in talent in-house. Let's look at partnering with agencies and actually acquiring agencies as well to be able to grow our offerings to our clients. So Experience Fresh has 3 agencies that are part of our organization as well. And we still are an agency that focuses deep, not wide. Our acquisition strategy, our talent, all of the work that we do as an agency is built to serve our clients that much more. So as an agency today, we have 4 competencies. We focus still on brand and marketing strategy. We focus on creative services, which for us is heavy on content, production, design, photography, motion, and UI, UX. And then we have a marketing team more focused on automation, performance marketing, top of funnel, CRM integrations, all of those, all the technical components that I know just about that much to get in trouble with. And then we have our performance paid media team, We manage around 25 to 30 million a year in spend across different clients of all shapes and sizes, really focusing across Meta and Google's platform.
Lovely. Quite a journey. Yeah. I love the fun of actually under promising and over delivering. I just love how it works across fields and across industries. Great. And then tell us the story about how Experience Fresh, the name was formed.
Yeah, no, it's a good story. We were originally called Fresh was the name of our agency. And what we why that idea came to life is that most of the clients that we were working with wanted new ideas, and they wanted to be able to align those ideas with their growth objectives. So we made it into an action, right? Where we want we want to create fresh ideas for our clients, but ultimately we want our clients' customers to experience those fresh ideas. So it became a roll off the tongue of experiencing fresh ideas, experience fresh. And eventually we said, hey, we need to lock the agency to this name, and we need to build really our brand around the value that we provide for our clients.
Lovely, lovely. You know how client projects can change the direction, right, of your own journey. So
Your
now you
own
have
journey. Yeah,
rebranded.
your own agency. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you rebranded yourselves. Lovely. Great. Yeah. Brett, in today's digital age, the consumers have so many choices. They're flooded with them. How do you advise brands to cut through the noise and create a brand strategy that not only stands out, but also resonates with their target audiences on a deep emotional level and also tick marks all the boxes for, like we all marketers die for Google's algorithm out there? How do you balance all of those out?
Yeah, that's a good question. We talk about to our staff and to our clients, our vision as an agency is to create authentic emotional connection and trust between brands and their customers. I think we're at such a pivotal shift. And I know that everyone, if you don't mention AI, can you even have a podcast, right? But I think we are in such a pivotal shift. And I think a lot of it is brought on by AI. But I think it was before that, right? I think that we have so much access to content. We
Yeah.
have so many talented content creators, right? And everyone has their own platform, which is amazing. But content without context really cannot, it really can fall flat, right? Can't land, right? And so when we advise brands, specifically in the brand strategy, the early stages of partnership and of working together, it's really how are we going to be providing the value add context that an end user wants to experience, right? It is no longer just good enough to create a hooky copy, right? Where it's no longer enough just to stop a scroll with a great visual. It has to be contextual. It has to be creating value within the consumer's ecosystem. And I think when we do that for a brand and on the behalf of a brand, that's where we see some of the greatest wins.
Absolutely. And in talking about user experience, right? How do you elaborate on the role of empathy in user experience design? And then how can brands infuse the quality into their digital experiences while maintaining a strategic approach?
Mm, That's a good question. Yeah, I think that empathy is just a core to our human nature, right? If when we lose empathy as people, right, and the humanness of that, I think that's when we start to lose the ability to connect, right? When we lose empathy, it we start to see so much fall apart. And I think that the same is with brands, right? When a
Yeah.
brand has the opportunity to emotionally connect and to extend that level of empathy to a user, magic happens, right? And when I was talking about our early part of our journey, falling in love with advertising, right? There is a brand really has the not just ability, but the responsibility to steward that connection well. It is no matter if it's a coffee brand that you're drinking, whether it's a clothing brand that you're wearing, right? We are essentially in the agency world, right? We're fabricating that connection, right? We're creating love at first sight. We're creating demand. We're creating all of these different tools in persuasion And there's a responsibility to that. And I think that or if a brand was to lose that empathetic connection to their consumer, they start to fail to really miss out, not just on their opportunity, but their role with their customer, with their consumer.
Brilliant. I love the way you elaborated it. Super. And talking about user experiences, it all often involves the understanding of psychology of the end users, like you mentioned, it is an integral part. Can you share some insights into how you approach understanding and empathizing with the diverse and evolving needs and expectations of users, the end consumers, and they are spoiled with choices at all times? How do we counter them as a market lead for a brand?
Yeah. Yeah. You got some good questions, Ranmay. I think that we're at such a unique time of whether it's universal design, whether it's new design regulations, all of these elements that are trying to speak into the user experience, right? Trying to speak into the customer journey. When I think about the customer journey, when I think about what we have now with access to data, I often like to put myself in the customer's shoes, right? And we obviously have a different lens, right? As agency owners,
Yeah.
collaborators, leaders, right? But when we're allowing cookies, right? When we know that pixels are being set, we're giving part of our future customer journey and part of our future user experience to a brand. So I think that when we look at that path, when we look at creating the different elements within that, it goes back to a little bit back to that stewardship, right? It's that I have that data. How can I create the best contextual, the best experience for the end user? That's something that's our responsibility as an agency. And I think that when we look at that, bringing those different elements into that user experience, we're gonna see great work happen, but we're also going to be able to help the end user navigate in a way that is creating value for them, right? I think of we were in a pitch yesterday, and we were pitching a global brand, and as we were walking through all the different stages of the funnel, and we're walking through the different content that we would be creating across that funnel, and ultimately how it translates to UX, whether it's website, whether it's Amazon storefront, all these different components. And as we're looking through that, where we're going to see the greatest value for the client is being sure that there's consistencies throughout that journey, whether it's
Right.
top, mid, bottom, full, is creating those consistencies and knowing that as a consumer, this brand has access to part of me through my digital journey, my digital fingerprint, and we're adding value by creating the most comprehensive and contextual experience for the user.
And then, Brett, what is your take on the balance between data analytics and human-centered aspect of user experience? How do you navigate this intersection to create authentic and meaningful connection with the end users for your brands?
Mm. Yeah, knowledge is power, but data is power as well.
Absolutely.
And I think that there's nothing, right, as an end user, but more industry, we're in the industry, right? So we're all hyper aware being in the industry. But there's nothing more frustrating to us when you sign up for something or you're engaged because you were served a great ad, and then you either get completely inundated or you completely fall off. And the Google and Meta, they do a fantastic job of giving us so much access to that information. And I think that when we look at that, we need to embrace that, and we need to be very transparent on behalf of our clients, on behalf of our clients' customers, is that we need to be transparent that this is how we're going to leverage that. And I think the transparency doesn't need to be in disclaimers, although it legally has to be in disclaimers, but it needs to be in transparency of communication, right? That we can be asking greater questions, right? We can obviously take the data that Google's serving us, that Meta's serving us, that other platforms are serving us, but also we can be going deeper into those questions. I think someone who does it fantastic, I think that The Hustle does it fantastic. Their daily email drop. I think some other brands are leading it really well across the D2C journey as it relates to e-com brands. And there's a lot that we can learn from the way that brands are interacting. We're interacting with brands, but also the way that agencies are doing it as well.
Absolutely. And the last one, Brett, and I cannot let you go without asking this one, right? And what do you think is the role of AI moving forward? It did take us by storm when ChatGPT hit us, right? But and obviously things have stabilized, and people have their own perspective of how it is gonna be the way. And let's say in the next quarter, probably 6 months down the line. What is your take on it? How do you use AI in your agency, and how do you think it can be utilized or can be moved? And just exciting times. I wanted to understand what is your take on it.
Yeah, we were in an all hands team meeting the other day. We've got 25 to 30 team members in our agency. And one of the things I was saying to our team is that if we're not leveraging and utilizing AI to add value to our clients and add value to our clients' clients, we're behind the times, right? AI is here to stay. It can make your job more efficient. It can make content more contextual. And there is part of our job is to be the conductor of that AI, right? We get to almost decide our own future of how we leverage and utilize such a powerful tool. For us as an agency, we came on the scene at a really special time, right? I would be, if I was an agency that was 30, 40, 50 years old, I would be really, I'd be a little concerned, right? Because it's hard to move a ship that's that big and that, right? For our agency, we came on the scene 4 years ago, right? Background in heavy on strategy, right? We've scaled and exited different organizations, right? Know business through and through, ultimately know the end customer and what the customer needs and wants. But we came at a time where AI was starting to really come on the scene, and we just fully embraced it. AI is used in everything that we do as an agency. It's used in our production department to sort footage. It's used in our content and copy team to be able to create ideas that we can win quick, lose quick, that we build out. We use AI in our customer experience journey. We use AI to even bring in and take different components of campaigns that we're running, integration of call center partnerships that we have to understand what campaigns are going to perform the best for our clients. I actually can't think of a way that AI is not used and leveraged at Experience Fresh. And I think it's a cautionary tale, right? If we don't leverage and utilize something that's so powerful and so big, an agency is going to get lost and quickly become obsolete.
Yeah, absolutely. While we were all scared when it hit us as an industry, people who have actually gotten to terms with it or have learned the tool in a more efficient manner, the drafts have been cut out in terms of how you actually use it as a weapon in your armory versus the other way around. Yeah, I'm glad to understand, and because we also leverage it day in, day out
Right.
across our functions, right? Like you do. So I'm a big fan of it, to be honest, right? It has made our tasks easier. Only that you got to understand how much to use it, how to use it, more importantly, and then that human factor at the end of it to ensure that whatever goes out, because it is still not a fully, let's say, deliverable or your final product, right? You still need to have that human input, human editing, whatever, depending on which all functions are you using it. But yeah, it's a potent tool. It's here to stay, like you said. So we got to use it and use it to the optimum, right?
I love that. Yeah, Remy, I think that when we look at the job of an agency, right? I know that you guys are experts in the SEO, SEM side, and that you guys have such a deep knowledge there. But our job as an agency is to serve our clients, right? Our job as an agency is to make our clients shine and to create the best possible chance for our clients to win. And they trust
Right.
us. They trust us with that. And it would be something as disruptive in a positive way as an AI tool, if we're not bringing that transparency to our clients and saying, hey, we're using this because of Y, or we're using this because of X, and it's going to add value to your brand and your process, then that's just a missed opportunity to continue to build trust with our clients.
Yeah, 200% agreed on that. So because we use it, I'm a big fan, like I said. Absolutely. And any new technology which comes to the market, initially that is the storm, right? And that is this resistance to change. But the fast adopters, the first movers, say, and like they say, they always have this advantage of. I know a lot of agency folks who were experimenting and doing their R&Ds, and we also did a lot of it. And right now, our team is absolutely on top of it when it comes to creating content with ChatGPT or other tools out there. Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, you got to be transparent. And why your clients gonna suffer because of your resistance to change with such a big, impactful,
Mm,
revolutionary change that has come to the industry?
yeah,
Absolutely. Great, yeah, Brett. It has been a brilliant conversation, but yeah, I'll not let you go before I play a quick rapid fire with you. I hope you're game for it.
let's go.
Yeah. Lovely. So what was your last Google search?
My last Google search. See, yesterday was Halloween here in the States, and I think I did a costume search on easy costumes for dads was my last Google search.
Okay. All right. When was your last vacation, Brett? And where was it?
Yeah, my last vacation was in July. I took my family out to the Rocky Mountains, Colorado, for some
Mhm.
whitewater rafting and camping.
Lovely. And how were you as a child? How your friends
Yeah.
would define you?
How was I as a child? I would say always up for an adventure and always up for a good time.
Lovely. And what did you do with your first paycheck, Brett?
My first paycheck, I think I actually bought a backpacking backpack and then went out on a multi-day backpacking trip. It was a disaster. I remember it clearly because we got rained on and it was a complete disaster. But that's what I spent my first paycheck on.
Lovely. And let's say if we were to make a movie on you, Brett. All right. And so what genre would it be?
It'd have to be probably just a really bad action film. Just a movie that most people could fall asleep to.
Yeah, I thought you would say adventure or something about travel and stuff like that. Lovely. Okay, the last one. Yeah, I will not tell you any further. Your celebrity crush.
My celebrity crush. Oh man, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a time period. I'm gonna probably say, man, that's a good one. I
If
think
you
it's
want
like,
to.
yeah, it's like late 90s Jennifer Aniston be my celebrity crush.
Okay. I was saying the SEO ones, the digital marketing ones were easy for you.
Yeah. When we're talking about personal, it does get more challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Yeah. Lovely. Lovely, Brett. It has been a brilliant conversation, and I'm sure our audience would benefit a lot out of what they heard in terms of the insights which you shared. Thank you so much for taking out time and doing this with us. Yeah. Cheers, man.
Thanks, Ranmay. Thanks for hosting.
Thank you.